and welcome back to the Nova Show, Real Estate Records. I'm Karla Rivera. I'll be your host for today, and I have a very special guest with me, Felipe Pacheco.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
So I'm super excited to hear about your story on how you got into the industry. I know that you bring a fresh perspective to the real estate market, having the background that you do in lending and in real estate, and also just a cultural insight. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
How did this accidental journey begin?
Well, the reason how I accidentally became a real estate agent was I've been in lending for a number of years. I've been in lending for 24 years. And about 10 or 13 years ago, I was president of a mortgage company and I had a national platform. And we were losing purchase transactions because if we qualified somebody here local in, say, Louisville, Kentucky, and we told them now go find a real estate agent, the likelihood of us losing that client because the local agent was saying, hey, why are you working with an internet company? Why don't you use my local lender? So I'm like, okay, I have a need. I need a real estate company so then we can do a referral agreement to find an agent in Louisville. So some friends of mine, he was a broker, she was a real estate agent. We partnered up, created a real estate company. So here I am, an owner of a real estate company, being president of a mortgage company, just to protect my loan officers to keep their business moving. And during this whole process, while I'm running this mortgage company, I decided that, I know a lot of people locally, and what if I wanted to bring on some local agents? So I should probably go get my real estate license so I can help them on a Saturday show, and thought it'd be some more of like a helper versus actually selling. And then as time progressed and I got closer to get my license done, that relationship dissolved. And one of the agents that actually brought on to my brokerage, we broke off and started our own brokerage together. And I got licensed, and I'm like, I don't have any agents to help, so I'll just help myself. And being in lending, naturally, all the years I had been, business flowed. In my first year as an agent, I did 15 transactions.
Wow. Okay. Yes, I'm sure that's been super helpful, though, to be able to understand the numbers and navigate through the hardest part of what buyers have to deal with.
Absolutely. Because I was on the lending side the whole time, it was a natural progression. Like, I got it, right?
Right.
And then what was really interesting to me is, then we joined a larger brokerage and we became the preferred lender for that brokerage, that some of the agents in that office still wanted me to do their loans because I was a real estate agent. And I understood the deadlines and what could happen. And so they were like, I like that idea. They weren't afraid that I was going to steal their business.
Right.
I did lose some of my agents because I was an originator still, even though I was president. I lost a few of my referral partners because they were like, well, now that you're a real estate agent, I can't use you. And I'm like, I would never do that. I'm not that type of person.
Right.
And over the years, I've shown you that. But hey, here we are today.
Okay, so that maybe was one of the biggest struggles when you first started this, but that was going to be one of my questions when you were early on with real estate. What was maybe one of your biggest struggles?
And it's that. It's like, people that I originated for years had decided that because I was an agent, I no longer can be their agent because they came from a scarcity mindset. And that's not how I work, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's plenty of business for everybody out there. Let's work together. Let me help you, And so,
and fear is the number one thing that stops people from accomplishing anything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, good that you didn't let that impact you in a negative way. You just moved right along and decided, okay, I guess it's not a good fit.
Yeah. And then over time, I left being president of that company, created my own mortgage company.
Yeah.
I had a staff with me. And, in 2020, when things were falling out of the sky, business was, I was running a mortgage company, doing a ton of volume in the mortgage side. My best year, I did 47 transactions.
On the real estate
side myself. I just recently separated and was a single dad, raising 2 teenage kids at the time. So 2020 and 2021 were pretty gnarly.
Yeah. I'm glad you made it because that sounds like you barely had your head above water, but you did it gracefully and successfully.
Yes.
Yes. Good. Well, way to take it head on. Okay. So just thinking back with your life, what do you think influenced you to get involved in the industry in general?
So when I first graduated high school, when I was 16, I started as a bagger at Smith's.
Okay.
And I worked my way up to be a store director. I was one of the youngest store directors in the history of the company at 21.
Wow. Well, and
running-
that's customer service there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people don't realize grocery business is hard and it's a lot of hours. I was working 60, 70-hour weeks.
Wow.
And really the catalyst to me getting out of the grocery business was I called my sister's house one day. My niece answered, she was 5 years old. And she's like, Uncle, I don't like you. And I said, why? And she's like,
Sad.
you've never been to one of my soccer games. You've never come to one of my dances. And that hit me. That impacted me because I'm like, wow, I'm missing out on my niece's lives because all I do is work. So I need something to change. So my cousin's husband owned a mortgage company at the time. I went and met with him and I quit cold turkey from a nice salary.
Brave.
And single person, had a mortgage.
Yeah.
And I went and just started slinging loans and learned how to do loans and eventually moved into the corporate office. And after 13 years, was a senior VP of the company. And so naturally, just getting into that mortgage world, the real estate just kind of naturally flowed.
Yeah, it evolved.
Due to the need that I had at the time.
Of course.
Right?
So it sounds like really fear is not a thing in your person. Like you are just kind of fearless.
You know what?
And I love that.
No one's going to take care of you if you don't take care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
So it's like sink or swim, I was not going to be 20-something years old and lose a house and go move back to my mom's house. No way.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, what was maybe the biggest mindset shift that you had to take when you got into the industry? But it sounds like you already had that hunger and drive. And
yeah, I mean, it was terrifying.
fearless to take it on.
You go to eat what you kill from getting a weekly salary.
That's a great book, by the way.
Is it? I've never read it.
I'll have to show it to you after.
Okay. Yeah. So,
But go ahead.
But that's what it's like. You just had to do it. There's no one else. I wasn't going to lean on my parents, to bail me out of it. If I committed to something, I was going to do it.
I love that. Okay, and so I know you're fearless. I know that you are super committed, but we are in a really crowded market. Not saying everyone should have a license, but what do you think is one of the most valuable parts of who you are and differentiates you from all other agents?
I think, like I was telling you earlier, like our sphere of influence is totally different. My sphere of influence is different than yours, right? So it's like, everyone we surround ourselves around, makes me more unique. Not everyone is as outgoing as me, right?
Yeah.
Some people are more reserved, but they still do a good book of business. It's finding your niche, I would say. And, some people, their niche is like, we're going to go after, veterans and I'm going to focus on them and I'm going to attend all the different things, right? Another person, I have a friend who she's like, you know what? Cabins. I'm going to make cabins my specialty. And she has a page about that. And so she works on that. So it's finding your niche that fits you. But for me, it's like my sphere of influence, because I'd been in lending for so long, it was natural progression. And what's interesting to me is with social media now coming out, years ago, is a lot of people, just consumers, didn't really understand the difference between a loan officer and a real estate agent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was shocking to me. And so like,
that is shocking.
Will you help me buy a house? Okay, yeah, I can do your loan. Let me get your real estate agent. Oh, you're not the one who's going to help me? I'm like, no. So that's what I thought was interesting. So education is huge in educating your consumer. And it was shocking that some people didn't really realize the difference between the two.
That's very shocking. I didn't know that either. So way crazy for me to hear. But okay, I'm assuming at this point in your career, you get a lot of repeat clients where you've built these relationships. And I know you're outgoing and you're super intentional about networking and just connection. What is one of your favorite stories of a client that you've had the opportunity to help, whether it was to purchase or sell, refinance, any part?
Gosh, favorite story. I've done a lot.
Yeah, or you probably have a few, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have funny stories from all of them.
Yeah.
And not even funny, but just like the work that goes into it. I always joke and say, everyone just thinks that, they see realtors on TV. And like they all have fancy cars. And
they're just taking trips.
No,
work.
We get dirty. Like I literally make people's beds.
Yeah.
I've actually changed sheets because I staged it. One of those machines that, at the stairs, the jazzy that goes up the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
I actually had to unbolt one and carry it out of a house for a photo shoot with my assistant. Like these are the things that we do.
Yeah, you're
Clean
doing
up dog
all.
crap.
Yeah.
When I show up to like my open houses, my car is full of brooms, Swiffers, my blower, a vacuum.
Wow.
Like I have the whole thing when I go.
But you're prepared,
but I'm prepared.
which a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, and like you're sweating. Like I have some video content that me mopping floors at one of my listings the other day, so I can do the open house. Like,
Yeah.
because we'd had a lot of traffic from showings and the floors got dirty.
We'll talk about going above and beyond. I'm sure your clients appreciate that so much.
For sure, but that's the part that people don't see,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, I'm full service. I will mow your lawn if I've mowed a lawn
If
before
I
too.
have to,
I
yeah.
have for a client. I've weed eated.
Wow.
Know. So it's just those are the things that I think set me a little bit apart. Is I'm not afraid to put in the work,
absolutely.
or also like for my buyer, my listing side of it, I offer them a $500 credit up front for house cleaning, handyman service, like those projects that.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about this, and they kind of get to pick and choose what's going to be most useful.
Everyone has those little projects at their home that they like need to. I need to get to that. Need to get to that. And now I'm selling my house, and
or sometimes they don't even know that if they just did this one thing, it's going to make their house bloom. When you do host those opens.
Here's a great example of it. Is we have a listing going live in a couple of weeks, and
exciting!
Yes,
Congrats.
and they have these pillars, and the part of the brick had fallen off on the corners. And so I was looking at that brick, and I'm like, you know what? We need to fix this. The curb appeals everything. Let me get my handyman in here, and let's get that done. And by the way, I have extra brick from when my house was built sitting on the side of my garage. So if it doesn't match, we can do it, and then we'll paint it. So today, the handyman went. He went to my house, picked up brick from my house, drove out to North Salt Lake. He fixed it, and it turns out my brick was the same exact brick of that house. So therefore, we don't have to paint it now.
Yes, but you were willing to do all the things. And you're absolutely right. Curb appeal is everything sometimes. It's the first thing you see.
Yes. And so that's what's going to drive someone who's driving by or seeing like, oh, wow, are the first pictures. Because what do you see? The first pictures of any listing is usually the front of the house. If you see a kitchen the first listing, run.
You're like, this is a red flag.
Yeah, that's
red flag all the way.
Well, and then it's all inside. The very last picture is the outside of it. Like that's red flag.
That's funny. Good insight. Well, okay. So on this note, because I know a lot of people don't realize that that's not the standard, but providing that credit is a huge value add, and being in a position where you're actually the one taking on the risk, right? When you 100%. Do put on a listing, like you're putting money up front, you're paying the marketing or any kind of repairs to that credit that you're doing. Yeah.
You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your clients. So I have a whole buyer's packet and a listing packet that talks about like the value that I add and the why. Especially like, people are like, oh, real estate agents get paid way too much and we can do this for sell by owner. Like, you have no idea.
But these are some of the things that go unnoticed that you are doing. Right.
Yep. And we're here to protect you. We're here to be your protector because we went through the education. We are licensed with the state, so our job is to protect you, your earnest money.
Well, and you're an advocate for them through the whole process in the negotiations and making sure everyone wins in the end.
Yeah, because the key to it is that we're not emotionally attached to that house.
Right.
A lot of people are. So we have to take the emotion out of it and like what's going to benefit you the best, right? Let's take the emotion out of it. Like,
Well, and how do you process this with your clients? Because it is a very emotional scenario for most consumers or sellers. So they have memories in a home, right? Like they don't understand sometimes that, yes, just because you did this, the value is there or similar.
What I always say is we're not just real estate agents. We're marriage counselors. We're therapists.
Yes.
and you really have to be able to listen. That's the biggest thing I tell my agents. Listen to your clients and their needs, their wants.
Actively
without
listening.
change. Yeah. And then you're going to realize who's the decision maker in it, who's more emotional, who you need to carry along a little more, but you have to be aware. But first and foremost, listen, because that's going to tell you exactly how you're handling the situation. Where the wife is a little more cutthroat, and so you'll need to handle her differently than the passive husband. Like, we'll just give him that. No.
Yes.
So you have to be able to really identify like your clients and know how to speak to each of them differently.
I love that you're saying that, because I think for people to feel like you value them in the same way or you're being fair, you absolutely have to treat them differently. We all have a different love language, and it comes down to that even in a business relationship.
Yes. I have clients right now. He loves to call and he wants to get on the phone. She loves a text. So I will send it as a text and I'll
And then
call
call
him because I
to bring the anxiety
yes,
down, like,
'cause
hey, I
know
got you.
He's gonna twirl chaotically
Yeah.
with like reading it and then and so I have to like just call him, say this is normal practice.
Yeah.
What they're doing an inspection. Yes, that's a home. Remember we talked about that at your listing appointment of like what the process
But people
is.
forget. That's been shocking to me as well. Is regardless of how thorough your consultations are, people really do forget
They do.
and
do.
they panic.
Yeah.
So
So if I can give one word of advice to people, be a good listener. That
Okay.
is the key. And because, what they also may tell you may not be everything they want as you start taking them through like homes, like, okay, you initially were telling me this is, but now I see that we need to tweak our search a little bit to really fit what you're looking for.
Well, and I bet sometimes it's just getting out there and they themselves start to notice that their priorities change.
Correct.
So you have to be willing to pivot with them and or remind them what the priorities are, right?
Or also not be afraid to have tough conversations.
Okay.
And that's something I think a lot of agents
Have
struggle
a hard
with.
time with.
Is like there's times where I've had to get very direct with my clients, and it's not in a disrespectful manner. It's you're not hearing me, and I need to explain this to you. So I need you just to take a moment and hear me, and be very direct. And it's not coming from a place of disrespect. It's trying to get the deal across the finish line and take the emotion out of it.
But are you like the fact that you're saying that to them at least helps prepare for what is coming. So I love that. And honestly, you are in a position of leadership. So how great that you're able to lead them. If you weren't willing to have those difficult conversations, you wouldn't be as successful.
Yeah, exactly. And all my business is referral business. If I didn't take care of them,
that's the best compliment, honestly.
100%, right? Like it's all referral, sphere of influence. People like, hey, you helped my colleague, you helped my sister, you
love that.
helped my friend, my neighbors spoke the world of you.
Well, at this point in your career, you are so busy. You're getting those referrals consistently. You're also serving as a mentor to your agents and lenders. So how are you structuring your days so that you're staying on top of everything?
Well, I'm really blessed. My husband actually runs the mortgage company.
Yes,
so
and he is lovely.
He's lovely, yes. So he's a licensed loan originator. He's been doing it now for 14 years. So he's taken that on for me. And on the brokerage side, I've brought on a broker in February to handle the day-to-day paperwork, just keeping everyone safe and reviewing
help
contracts.
delegate some of that.
So I could really focus on my coaching, my mentoring, and my business, right? So, I invite my agents, come with me to this listing appointment, come with me to this photo shoot. I'm more than happy to take you with me to those so I can train you the right way to do them. And to help you succeed. So that's how I structure my days is like, I do have help, which is phenomenal because, I did it all myself for a number of years and it was hard, but I did it. But I now have the luxury. I didn't have 15 agents underneath me at the time. And so, we're at 15 right now and I have 2 more onboarding next week. And then a few more to follow after that. So, by the end of the year, I could be up to 20.
Wow. And with the quality because they're training under you and getting that one-on-one mentorship.
Correct. And we hire to our culture.
And that's important.
That could sound snobby to some people. I'm not just looking for numbers. I'm not looking to fill my bus. I'm looking to fill the right people on my bus.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that makes perfect sense. You really have to protect your space, your energy, and if you're not working with like-minded people, the vision isn't going to be met.
Correct.
Yeah, I totally get that. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
I was going to ask you what you're working on for the coming year. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are some of your goals that you're working on professionally? And then maybe share one goal that you're excited about outside of real estate.
Outside real estate.
Yeah.
Okay. So my goal this year, like finishing up my year, I really would like to try to get to my 20 mark. And we're right. We have 2 months left on it.
Yeah, you've got plenty of time.
We have plenty of time, right? But now's the time also because a lot of brokerages, their caps are coming due, right? So this is the time a lot of agents are actually out looking because their caps reset in January. A lot of them. Some brokerages go like, from your start date, but a majority go off of like annual. So we go off annual. So it's a great opportunity. We just want to provide value, right? So that's my kind of like, can I finish the end of the year strong, right?
And that's going to roll into the start of your first quarter. So that's smart.
Correct. And then personally, we have our house on the market and just want to get that sold and start a new chapter and downsize because
I'm still trying to convince someone to buy that one.
It's a beautiful house.
Between you and I. Hopefully he watches this.
Exactly right. I will. No names.
Yes, no names.
That's funny.
But okay, great. That's a really good goal.
Mhm.
How about with your agents? Do you also have that expectation where you sit down with them, or maybe not sit down, but
So
checking in on their goals and
Yeah,
making sure
so-
they're in alignment with you?
Yeah, we're going to be doing our goal planning session in December, and we do that every year with our agents. I do offer my agents a one-on-one opportunity with me.
Okay.
I do have a 3 strikes and you're out rule, and that is
Oh, we're strict over here.
I am. Well, it's just my time's valuable.
Love that. Yeah.
And I want to help them, but they have to help themselves too.
Absolutely.
And so
it goes back to protecting your peace and your energy within the whole company, not just yours.
correct. So I will happily do a once a month one-on-one with you, accountability, training,
wow.
coaching.
Yeah, that's quite a bit.
The first meeting's an hour where we sit down and we talk about what are you trying to accomplish, and it's also personally and in your business, right? Because I think there's a balance you have to have.
Oh, yeah.
That you can go one-sided really quickly and forget that you have a family, right? So I want to talk about whatever 3 goals we're going to do professionally, and let's 3 goals personally you want for you or your family or something
I love
like
that.
that.
So they can flow together.
Correct,
Yes.
because I think they have to have synergy between those.
Absolutely.
And then after that, it's a half hour the next month, and we go through it like what did we accomplish? But we set goals like okay, obtainable goals, right?
Yeah.
So did you do X, Y, Z? And so the following meeting, okay, we talked about you were going to post this many
so
times
you
on
also have
social
a
media.
deadline to make sure
you were
they're
gonna
getting
do
done.
this. You were going to go door knocking. Did you do this? No, you didn't do that. Okay, you didn't do that. So we didn't follow through with what you said you would do. So what's going to change now to make sure you do that for the next month? And that's my 3 strikes and you're out
Yeah.
rule of like, if we meet 3 times and you're not checking off the boxes, then at that point in time, you're not ready to invest in yourself. Because if you time block
Yeah.
your time and protect your time to accomplish those things, you will be successful.
Absolutely. Well, I love that you run a tight shift because that is what differentiates people that are going to make it or not in this industry. One thing's to get your license, and another is to fully apply it as your job and run with it. Yeah.
And everyone at my brokerage doesn't have to do that. I have a
Right.
handful of agents that are, hey, I'm a mom. I do a 1 or 2 a year. That's what I want. Perfect. I love your
That's
energy.
your goal.
That's your
yeah.
goal. Perfect. I love when you come to sales meeting, your energy you bring. I love you being part of my family. Of course, but that's, I don't have, if that's what you want, I'm fine with that too. I'm not looking for, you have to do this many transactions. Like I'm not running a team, right? At the end
It's
of the
more
day,
of keeping people accountable in their own goals, it sounds
yes,
like.
exactly.
Okay.
Because we're all different
like
on what
that.
we want to accomplish. I have a couple that have full-time jobs too, but actually do some
Yeah.
busy productions. So just whatever you're trying to accomplish, then I understand it. Then how can I help you?
Yeah. I love that. You're creating the space, but still holding them to their goals.
Yes,
So
exactly.
that's great. That's a really big part of being a leader is that's having a hard conversation, right? Being able to call people forward and say, why didn't you do this? These are the options. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, kind of flipping it to buyers, because we are in a market that is continuously shifting, specifically these last 3 years.
Yes.
I feel like it's been not necessarily unpredictable, but more unpredictable than it has been in the last decade. So what are some behaviors that you're seeing in buyers today that you're really watching to be able to help them?
So right now, I think everyone's struggling with finding buyers. I'm
Okay.
listing heavy right now.
Yeah.
And so I think that this is a time where we need to maybe reevaluate what we do on the daily and
Okay.
change up what we're doing, right? Work your CRM systems, right? Get on social media.
Yeah.
Go join different groups. Join a wine club. Join a book club. Join
Sure,
some-
whatever falls into your world.
Yes, because every time that you are in a group or situation, there's an opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like, what can you do? Learn AI. I'm here to tell you, if you
It can work with us, not against us.
yes, it can.
Absolutely.
And if you aren't getting on board with it, you're going to be left in the dust, right? And it can build out some beautiful marketing pieces. If you don't have a marketing team, we have a marketing team who does a phenomenal job. But if you don't have that, learn AI, and they can bust out. So they will build you scripts. They will build you like content for reels. They'll even build you a flyer. If you do the professional one, you upload all your logos, all your stuff. It puts it all together.
And it's very low cost.
Very low cost, right? And so these are the things where you need to change up how you're doing it, because there's less buyers out there. You got to go find them. There's more agents out there knocking on their doors trying to get them. Go back to the basics. Door knock. Back to the old school stuff. Do open houses.
Well, this
door
kind
knock.
of falls under what we were talking about earlier with being willing to do anything it takes, whether it's as a leader or to help your consumer, right? Like there isn't a job that is beneath us.
No, not at all.
So, and I can see that you really have that mindset.
Yeah, I did an open house for one of my agents' condo that she's had for like 4 months on the market and did a price adjustment on it. And it was in Kearns, and she gets in our company chat, and she's like, is anyone available to do an open house this weekend? I said, I'll do it.
Yeah,
And so
I love that.
my husband and I went, and we hosted an open house there at her condo because I'm a team player. Nothing's above my pay grade.
So not only are you supporting your team, but you're also seeing the opportunity that at any given moment you could meet someone. They're a potential client.
Unrepresented buyer could have walked in there easily, right?
Yes.
So I had a little tiny house in Murray on the west side of the freeway in Murray, back behind the Smiths.
Oh, yeah.
That was a cash cow for unrepresented buyers. It was shocking.
Oh, wow. That's great.
We did open houses for like 5 weeks on that thing. Every one of my agents each week got an unrepresented buyer on it. It was crazy to me.
That's awesome,
I was like,
though.
wow.
What a little gem.
It was. Dude. It was like $450,000
From one house, you got
house.
multiple.
Yeah,
clients.
and it had never been updated. The guy had lived there originally.
Wow.
It was the original owner of it, and we just cleaned it up, and it was a little cash cow. So
Wow. Well, that speaks volumes of putting in the effort and then receiving the energy back tenfold. So that's amazing.
And then giving my agents the opportunity, like, hey,
Yeah.
host here. I have all these listings. Who wants to do an open house this weekend? Get
I
out
love
there.
that.
But there's a way to open house too.
Okay,
That's
I'm so
important.
glad you mentioned this because I think there's a lot of misconception on how you host open houses, and it's like, oh, I just throw out a sign, blast it once on social media, and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Maybe pray a little. On
Exactly.
the side.
Exactly. You need to open
So
house.
yeah, maybe share that more and why your open houses are so successful.
So, I mean, like I said, going back to basics, right? When we first became agents and we're hungry, you need to start posting your open house early in the week. You need to create a buzz. You need to post it multiple times on social medias at different times. So there's an algorithm you can look at. Will show you when you get the most engagement, and so you want to make sure you do that. And
So you're actually taking the time to track what's
Correct.
being seen, and that takes a little bit more work
Correct.
than throwing it.
Doing
up there.
reels, doing stories,
Yeah.
they trend quicker and faster than just a post, right? Going and getting in, like, working your friends list in social media. And like, if you don't see one of your friends for a long time, they kind of fall. Go into their pages and start liking and stuff. That's putting them back into your feed. So it gets it in front of more people. Okay. Then
Smart.
door knock the neighborhood the night before. Go knock the neighborhood and say, hey, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your neighbor. Here's a flyer. I'm having an open house tomorrow,
I love
right?
that.
But then the next day, have directional signs. If you have busy streets, make sure there's signage. And they've gotten expensive. Balloons have gotten expensive. But if you put an open house sign with like 3 balloons,
it
it
gets
catches
more
an eye.
attention,
It gets
for
more
sure.
attention. But have directional signs and make sure you have the signage. And then also make sure you have nice refreshments. The house is prepared, right? You have a sign-in sheet.
Well, what you were talking about, the appearance and curb appeal is huge.
Huge. Make sure your clients are ready. Follow up with them. Go walk it the day before to make sure that it's ready to go.
Yeah, that's
right.
a huge
That's
tip.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, especially if it's a home that's occupied, and it's hard. You have a life. You're trying to live in your house and take care of your family and get ready for an open house. So go there the day before. Check on it. Make sure it's ready. Have your sign-in sheets.
Don't arrive at the start of the open house. Please.
No. Do live presentations.
Yeah.
Shoot video content. Post it. So I can teach all this stuff.
Yes.
Do I do it all the time? I will be honest. No. But hey,
No one
we're
can be
human.
perfect 100% of the time. I spare you.
I know. We got to an open house last week, and I forgot a sign-in sheet, and my husband's
okay.
like, "You really need to get organized." I'm like, "I know. I'm gonna just put together an open house box that has everything." He goes, "But I already got you. Look at this." And he pops his iPad out, and there's an open house sign-in sheet
digital
on
one.
his iPad. And we set it up by the door, and people filled
Well,
it
and
out.
that's the luxury of utilizing technology, AI, all the things. Like, we have options.
Yeah.
So
And he's like, "I got you. Here, there's an app. Look,
crisis averted.
Good. Okay." And then he's like, "But get your open house box." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah. Okay. So I know at least every interaction I've had with you in the last year is always bubbly and happy, you have such high energy, but this is a hard industry. And not only does it take patience, you have to stay persistent and you have to get comfortable with being super uncomfortable, whether it's rejections or having those difficult conversations with your clients. So, how are you balancing that? What are you doing to keep your peace, your balance? And I know family is important to you, but maybe talk to me a little bit about that.
I'm having to force myself out of my box. You know, as I was telling you, like, I really don't like the sound of my voice on video
and
recordings.
it sounds great. So here we
and so
are.
when you asked me, I
Boundaries.
was like, no, I don't like the sound of my voice. But my marketing team, they're pushing me and forcing me. And if you look at my social media, you'll see that you've seen more videos of me in the last 3 weeks than you have.
Because you have a
historically.
great marketing team.
Yes, and so it's me investing in myself and like, no, you need to do this.
But it's the willingness too.
Yes.
Although it's uncomfortable, you're willing to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I bought this Osmo Pocket 3, like it's a gimbal video thing. It's a handheld. A year and a half ago, never had used it. And I tried it one time. I literally took the time, watched TikToks, watched YouTubes, how to use it. I shot my video yesterday inviting people to the board from that thing with a new microphone I just got. So investing in myself. And because I'm spending money on myself, I need to get that money back.
Utilize it.
I need to utilize it. So that's what I'm doing because it is tough, even for me. I mean, I've had a great year. I've done a number of transactions, but I have listings and I need buyers. And so I wake up every day like, what can I do different today that's going to maybe make a difference and get me in front of a different group or a different crowd or.
And how are you gaining those creative juices?
I go in and see I get in Chat GPT and what's trending. What do people want to know? What are just ask questions in there and try to find out what's happening in the world, what's trending, and then speak to that and just shoot content and get it out there and be more present. And like I said, there's more video out now, and here I am talking to you.
I know. I love this. Thank you for being willing. I know that it was probably also just random, but
I was like,
I will back that your marketing is great and you're super consistent. Like I get your emails and it's exciting when I see what you have going on with the homes that you've got listed or changes, whether you've done a price adjustment, stuff like that. I always know I can count on getting that. And that's great because not everyone is consistent.
No.
So it's like, oh, cool. I got an email for like 2 months, and then where did they go?
I think if you really want to do this, you need to invest, like I said, into yourself. Get a CRM system.
Yeah.
Okay. That you need to be able to stay top of mind.
So you can track everything. Yeah.
Yes. Send out stuff once a quarter to all your clients. Right.
Oh,
My team and I are just we just built a preferred vendor list on our website that has every kind of like handyman, cleaners, window
I love
people,
that.
everything.
Just all the resources.
And they're people we've all worked with. We've reached out to every vendor on there, said, would you like to be on our preferred vendor list? Here's our rules. It's 3 strikes, you're out. If I get 3 complaints, you're off my list.
Staying strict in all areas.
At all areas,
I love
yes.
this.
But and so that's bringing value.
Yeah.
And I just had my marketing team make me stickers and magnets with my face, and it says, if you need help, shoot this URL, and so we're having them stick it by their garage door openers.
Well, and that's huge value because I'm sure your clients reach out
all
months
the
down the
time.
road. Hey, this happened. Who can I contact?
I need carpet, yes.
Yeah.
And so I could say, oh, go to our website, hit per vendor. But now they're all getting a sticker. We're stuffing them earlier today.
Well, and the magnet's a great idea. It's always going to be there.
Yep, a sticker they put in the garage.
Yeah.
And it's on the wall next to the garage door opener, so they see my face every day. I'm staying top of mind, but I'm providing a value for them. If they want a magnet, I recommend they put it by their HVAC. So every time they change their filter, they see me, they know where it's at, right?
Absolutely.
And then when they leave it there, and the new owners have my face in front of them. So it's a way to just market yourself.
Strategic, but valuable.
Valuable.
I love that.
Exactly.
Because you're not just expecting them to call you. You're putting in the work, and you are resourceful.
Correct.
Creating this list wasn't something that you just woke up and had either. You've had to build those relationships.
Over the years.
Utilize these vendors and know that they're credible. So
Correct.
And
then we also do twice a year. We do like a client appreciation event. So Donuts with Santa. This is my 4th year doing it. We have an amazing Santa, and we do
real Santa.
The real Santa, yes. We do a hot chocolate bar. We do donuts. We have a mimosa bar, and then we have like a place for the kids to color, and then Santa and his elf. they're just
Oh,
phenomenal,
how
and they come, and it's
fun.
been a fun event, and this is our 4th year doing it. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like after Halloween, it is February. Like
mhm.
there's so much going on. So I was going to ask, what are you doing to stay connected with your clients during these busy times where everyone's busy, whether it's with family or travel or whatever they've got going on,
So
but it sounds like you're being very strategic in that as
yes,
well.
but you'd be surprised too. Like over the years we've done this, like even my clients that don't have children, they love to come to this event.
Oh yeah. I
So it's just
mean,
fun
it
networking.
sounds fun and you're considering everybody.
Yep, and I open this up to my team too. So it's for my team, their past
Fun.
clients,
Yeah.
and so we invite them. The more, the merrier. We have such a good time, and then in the fall, the spring, summer, I try to do an event. Last year, I rented a bowling alley out, and we invited
Oh, how
all the
fun.
past clients, stuff like that. So just
Well, and
staying in
it's
front of
also,
them.
I want to say this because I think a lot of people do client events, and something that came to mind to me recently was it's not so much about what you're doing, it's the fact that you're creating an experience for them to be able to go to. Maybe they don't have the means right now to get Santa pictures or go have a fun night,
Mhm.
and you're creating that opportunity. And I think that's what really resonates with people, or even if they can't make it, you're thinking of them and they're always going to remember that.
Yeah, and we tell them bring their family, bring their brother or sister, or
Yeah.
their coworker and their kids,
And that's
right?
still a huge opportunity for you
Yes, because
because,
now we're in front
oh,
of
right.
another person that maybe owns a home and will need to sell, or they will
Or they
remember that,
don't
or they
yet.
don't. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I met Felipe when we went to the Donuts with Santa event, and I'm going to call him, So,
Yes. I love that. Everyone wins.
yes, these are just the things you have to step out of the box and do all the extra things to be successful right now. Because, I mean, I think this year, like, I can't think of the number of agents that did not renew their license.
Oh, okay.
Which I also
But,
feel,
hi.
I feel it's an evil necessary. This happened in 2008 in the mortgage world, where the world ended and there was this mass exodus of originators. And for me, I survived it, but it was an evil necessary because there's a lot of people who
Yes.
did shady things and cleared them out,
Well,
right?
that's part of why there was a crash.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
And
I
so
agree.
the professionals rose to the top, right? So similar to now in the last couple of years, loan officers and real estate agents are not renewing their license because it's just hard. And it's like, so those of us who are still made like
Because
cockroaches,
you're doing the work.
we have to
Yeah,
do the work, right?
absolutely.
So that's unfortunately the
Well,
fortunate and unfortunate part.
and kind of speaking to that, there are slow times even through the year here in Utah, right? Because we deal with the seasons, with school, people, kids going in and out, and I know that affects sales. So, how are you handling your business when it is a slower market? What are you doing during those times?
And during those times is where I spend the time like looking at myself, looking at how do I
Okay.
handle, how do I do things, what can I change about what I do, stuff of that nature. Just invest in myself and take a minute to look back when I'm not going 90 miles an hour with my hair on fire. But
Yeah.
because I can always learn something new, right? We can learn something from
Well,
everybody.
I love to hear you say that, even with the level of success you've had, because a lot of people do forget to keep learning and keep investing in growth. And it sounds like you are, of course, you're business driven, but you're also personally trying to grow.
100%. I mean, example, first thing this morning, I get up and while I'm drinking my coffee, sitting in bed, I have my laptop and I have this like handful of like looky-loo buyers that just like, and I know what they each want. And I literally just scrubbed the market today and just like, I found a house for each of them and sent it to them.
Oh, wow.
Just like, hey,
But that's super intentional. You're
It's
not just sending
intentional.
them blind properties that have nothing to do with their needs.
yeah. Yeah. So I've one client that I've been talking to them for almost 2 years.
Wow.
They want to live in West Jordan. That's all they want to like anything.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
like every few months and they'll send me one. And then like, okay, well now you gotta get my house on the market. And so I try to
you're
get
like,
a
"Guys." Yeah.
scheduled. And so they've been kind of like more active lately. So, I sent them brand new construction in West Jordan. I'm like, hey guys, in their price point, there's
and that gives
brand
them
new
the
construction.
time
And so
to
the
sell.
wife hearted it, which I haven't got them to respond in like
Not
a
yet.
month. But then she hearted it. I'm like, okay, there's a pulse there.
Yes.
They're saying there's a chance. So
I love that. And it really is like that in life in general. I had a conversation earlier today about losses or just failing, right? And the perspective of not seeing things as a fail or a loss, but rather a stepping stone to progress. So getting that like on the property is one of those stepping stones where you're like, okay, here we are 2 years deep, but
I'm still touching you.
We can get to the finish
Look,
line.
hey, you do not leave a stone unturned right now when you're
Yes.
trying to find buyers. And that's what I spent my morning doing while I was having my coffee. It's just
Okay.
like those ones have just, and I have them in my CRM system and I have it labeled very intentionally.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, these are the ones I just need to keep touching. And it's going to
So
come.
you are pretty organized, it sounds like.
Yes, I had to get the CRM system.
Helped you get
has helped me,
organized.
And I
Okay.
started it.
I feel like that's a big takeaway right now for anyone in the industry or thinking about getting in the industry. Do you believe that they could make it without a CRM and having a place to fall back to keep track of everything?
Because this whole business is about relationships.
Yeah.
And if you're not staying in front of that person, they're going to go to the next agent. So you have to be intentional about your business. There's my other thing I'm going to say about CRM systems. Some of these larger brokerages have their own and they offer it to you. Do not take that. That is not.
Okay, tell me why.
That's not your. They will keep your leads.
Oh.
It's their system. So you can
Dun, dun,
export
dun.
it. You can export it. I recommend you get your own. Follow-up bosses
Okay.
who I use. I tell my agents who come aboard, oh, so do you provide me a CRM? I said, I use Follow-up Boss. It's $69.99. I recommend you invest it in
Yeah,
yourself.
well, and there can be some that are very inexpensive.
Yes, and I will help you build it out. But those are your clients.
Yeah.
They're not mine. And so a lot of these larger firms, they'll keep that data and they'll just keep farming it.
Dang.
And so that's
So now
a takeaway from Papa P.
you know.
Get your own CRM system. Don't take the companies.
If you know, you know now.
Exactly.
Thank you for dropping that advice and truth bomb on us.
Exactly.
Okay.
So protect yourself.
Yeah. Great. Well, what is one of the things you've learned most about people by being in this industry?
Ooh, good and bad.
Yes, let's hear it all. Let's
There are
start
some
with the
shady
bad
boots out
and
there.
then let's go to the good.
Oh, there are some shady boots out there. I've learned that, scarcity brings fear, and unfortunately, it makes people make decisions that they shouldn't, and it jeopardizes their livelihood. And I tell my loan officers and my real estate
Like
agents,
ethically, morally. Yeah.
I'm like, one deal's not worth your livelihood. One deal's not
Absolutely.
worth your license. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
then you do no deals.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
totally.
So, and that's the hard part in this current climate we're in. People are clawing and fighting for deals, and deals fall apart. And you know what? You have to hold strong and work harder to keep it together. Or, guess what? Still be intentional with what you do and be kind, because if you give it to the universe, you're gonna get it back tenfold.
Absolutely.
So. And then what was the other side of that question?
So then the good. What is one of the
there's
greatest
some-
things you've learned about people?
I have met some wonderful,
You're like,
amazing
is there?
people.
Just kidding.
Especially where I've been getting more involved in the Salt Lake
Yeah.
Board of Realtors. Like being there today. Today was committee sign-up day, and literally I hugged and kissed a million people.
Oh, yes.
And just like
So
just
the
get to the
connectivity,
connectivity,
yeah.
and I thrive in that network stuff. Like that is my jam, and it helps too. Like especially like if you're competing and they happen to be a listing agent on a deal, and you're like, hey.
Oh, totally. It's so much better to work with people you are friends with, or at least have that good relationship.
Yes, so our fiduciary duty is we present all offers to our clients, right? They ultimately make that decision. But if you can say, I have worked with this agent before, they're stand-up, I've done
Or
this.
they're great communicators.
Yes.
They're a good person. Their
Correct.
morals and
Correct. So,
ethics are in alignment with us.
yeah, but I've built some beautiful, amazing friendships.
Oh, I love that.
That's what I love.
Yes, that's huge. And I think for you specifically, because you do put out a lot of energy, it's a good recharge too, to have these days where
Yes.
you go to the committee or
Yeah, and there's times
the
where I'm just like,
galas
I'm
and
not
everything
feeling
else
like
that
it. I'm
comes-
like, okay.
kind of like the gym, right? We're like not always wanting to be there, but
But you still go.
after we feel good.
Yeah, and then I get there and I start seeing people, and it just it fills my tank
picks everything
again,
up.
and I'm happy, and I leave there feeling okay. I got this again. Because I mean, honestly, we all have those days where we're just like,
Oh, yes.
oh my gosh, like
Well, and sometimes I think it's great to honor that too and be like, oh, hey, maybe today I do need to step back and take a day.
yeah.
And
or
how?
like,
Oh, go ahead.
or like
Yeah.
I have a rough day, and I'll tell myself, okay, you're allowed to have this day.
Yes.
Have your day, wallow in your sorrows for the day, lick your wounds, whatever that it is. Like, but because I'm human, right? But then tomorrow you get your ass up, you put your big boy panties on, and you rock the world out.
And that's so important is yes, grieve, yes, feel the fails or setbacks, but also setting a hard deadline of tomorrow or in 3 hours or whatever, I still have to show up.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Don't let it drag you
I
down.
love that.
You just let yourself have the moment, whatever that is, but then you better step it up.
Yes. Okay. And I know you've dropped tons of advice, which I'm so grateful for. I'm excited about this. And it's like, I'm not even out there selling or anything.
I'm very passionate. I love what I do, especially when I teach.
I can tell.
If you get in one of my classes, I'm just like, I'm kind of crazy.
And that's probably the best part of being in a leadership role is that you do, well, in my opinion, is you get to share with people. And then if it lands, they take it and run with it.
Yeah.
So you have shared tons of advice, and I so appreciate that. I know people are going to find so much value in this, but can you think of anything else, maybe going back in time, right, before you even did the lending world, what would you say to Felipe then, if knowing what you know today, but going, being able to have a conversation with yourself, what's a piece of advice you would like to give?
Oh, I think that, what would I tell myself, little Felipe?
Yes.
Just believe in yourself, I guess. Like,
I love that.
I had very supportive parents who lifted us up every day of our lives. I was very blessed with an amazing family. And my mom, she was a driver. She was a nurse. My dad was in the Air Force for 27 years. Like, they got up and worked hard every day. They taught us the work ethic.
You had good examples.
We had good examples. And so just believe in yourself and follow what you want to do. Like I tell my kids, like, my son's graduated and he asked for a gap year. And at first I was like, well, you have to go to college. And I didn't finish college, and I didn't ever want to tell my kids that. But then one day it came out at dinner. I'm like, oh, okay, so.
Well, now we know.
Now we know, right? So now when I tell my kids, I'm like, look, you don't have to live the life I live. I live a very different life than a lot of people, but I like living that lifestyle because I work hard and I want to work that hard for that lifestyle. Find a job or a career that gives you the lifestyle you want to live, but brings you joy. And that's what I tell my kids. As long as it brings you joy and provides for you that lifestyle you want for yourself, I'm fine. I love you, and that's what I want for you. So
I love that. So believing in yourself and going after what it is you personally want, and then you support that. Yep. Great.
Exactly.
Well, that's a huge piece of advice. Okay. And then, this is what you would say to yourself, but how about people right now that are thinking about buying, because I know that's the biggest need, and there is a scarcity mindset with interest rates or even, immigration, things like that. What is a piece of advice that you can share so people feel that it is still a great opportunity to own homes, and home ownership really does create generational wealth and all the things?
It does. And if just pay attention to the statistics that people are sending out. Like I just pushed out a piece on social media either this morning or yesterday. It just showed how much value Salt Lake has made in the last year. Davis County is 4.5%, right? So if you're sitting on that fence, you just lost out on that money, essentially.
So kind of just looking at the facts versus what you're hearing.
And guess what? There's 1 million people sitting on the fence waiting for the rates to drop a quarter, waiting for it to drop a half a point. Guess what? If you're one of those, the minute that happens, they're in the buyer pool just like you.
Oh, yeah.
Now is the time.
Then there's going to be multiple offers again.
We have so much inventory right now on the market that there's plenty to pick from. We're able to negotiate for you, usually, closing costs, lower purchase price. Get in there and get out and start buying right now, because the minute rates drop, you're now in there.
And rates can always fluctuate, right?
They can.
So that is still an opportunity for people to shift that in the future.
And if you have a knowledgeable real estate agent who's supporting you, they can negotiate what's called 2-1 buy down money, which is basically we're getting money from the sellers that goes in the subsidy account that for the first year, your payment is based upon a rate 2% lower for the first year. And the difference between that payment and your full payment gets subsidized out of that account. And then year 2, It's 1% lower.
Yeah.
So today, if the rate's 6.5%, your first year payment is based upon 4.5%.
Yeah.
So get out there. You can still have a cheaper
Well, and
payment.
that gives them time to build more, or maybe rates
More
do
equity.
drop or whatever. Yeah, they
Right.
can refinance. So I can imagine this will raise even more questions, right? So these are conversations that I know you're willing to have with any consumer that is listening or just has had this in the back of their mind. And you're just a phone call away.
100%. And also any agent out there who like wants to understand more. I love
I love
teaching. I
that.
love sharing, knowledge sharing. You know, I don't have secret sauce. I have knowledge and experience that I'm willing to share that because, like I said, there's plenty of business for everybody. You're not my competition. You're my colleague in the same industry.
And I think this is one of the things I've loved most about you, Felipe, is that you truly embody abundance and you understand that everyone can win and you're willing to share the wealth and the knowledge and all the things. So
100%.
I love that about you.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, thank you. This has been amazing. I already knew that I was a fan of yours. So,
Thank you.
So fun for me to
Making
be
me
able
blush.
to have you here. And yeah, I would love to just open it up. I know people can follow you on Instagram and Facebook. Of course, is there anywhere else that we can find you?
My marketing team is trying to get me to do TikTok, so
Okay,
we'll see how that plays
so
out.
future, perhaps we'll see this.
I was actually on before I got here looking on how to actually post a TikTok.
I love it.
'Cause,
I've
like,
yet to post a TikTok, so I hear you.
I have one video that my husband shot and then he put it on it, but like I said, I'm investing
Okay, I'm
in
gonna go
myself.
follow you
I'm
now.
investing in myself and learning and stepping out of the old ages and stepping into the new because we need to survive. And you know what? If you don't take the time to learn all the new technologies,
Well, and
you're not gonna
evolve,
make it.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So eventually a TikTok probably.
Okay, we have a future TikToker on our hands here.
Right.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share? I'm just super grateful that we had this opportunity.
Yeah, no, just thank you for having me and I appreciate it. And I just love to share my story and love to help people. So
Yes, and I can feel that from you. So thank you so much. And as you guys heard it, this man is incredible. He's a leader and really invested in himself and his clients and all of the lenders and agents that he's able to help. So tune in for us next time and go follow Felipe.
thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.